then the sort of last question that we have, formal question is, can we end homelessness? And if so, how?
I fundamentally believe that homelessness is a solvable problem. I wouldn't be sticking it out with this if I didn't have hope. And and it's not a obscure pie in the sky thing. It's that you can actually look around the world and see that there are other nations that are doing way, way, way better. Um, a good example being either Finland or Norway, both of which have essentially 10% of the rate of homelessness as Canada. And then you can also look the other way, and you can look to the US that has 4 times the rate, or 400% of Canada. So we can also do a lot worse. uh, what are Finland and Norway doing, for example, that is making things work much better there? Is that they are truly prioritizing housing that is deeply affordable. And so one of the limitations of what we've done here in Canada, well, the biggest one is we stopped building new public housing in the 80s during a recession, along with, it wasn't just us, along with Australia, the UK, and US, all stopped public housing building at that time. That put us into a cycle which we've never recovered from, because right now we're investing the vast majority of our resources into what I would call shallow or units that are priced, for example, at 70% or 80% of average market rent. So they're deemed affordable by the government. But in terms of people who were thinking about those experiencing homelessness, these are still quite out of reach, especially as average market rent keeps going up quite catastrophically right now in Canada. Those get further out of reach. And so we do have a simple supply problem in terms of units of truly affordable housing. And the private market isn't filling that gap. The demand for housing is high, so private market is building condos for purchase or high rent, kind of more luxury side of the rental market. So if we want to end homelessness, we need homes, and we simply don't have enough places that are affordable for people to go at the moment. To do that, we need to return, I believe, we need to return to building true public housing that's ranked geared to income. No party, we're in a start of an election right now, no party's talking about that. They're all talking about, more affordable. So it's like this contest of saying, well, we're going to do X thousand units of new affordable. Well, we're going to do even more units of new affordable. And I'm sitting there saying, none of this is affordable to those experiencing homelessness. So yes, you're filling in an important part. That, that middle half of the lower income is an important group to house. And so we need all of those units. I wouldn't build any less affordable housing. But we need to start building deep affordability. The other thing, of course, is we need to have the supports available for those folks who have dire needs. And we've seen this work really well. So we've been doing a model called Housing First in Canada, where we wrap supports around individuals that are, individualized supports, the supports that they need. There's no requirements around what that looks like and participation. And ideally, it's moving folks into housing choice. So we do know that high support does work for folks, no matter how long they've been homeless, no matter how complex their health and social issues. But to me, that's an easier side, because that's just like a programming issue. We just need to make sure we've got enough of those programs in place. The bigger issue that I see is that we need governments to commit to starting again with building public rent geared to income housing.